Hello everyone and welcome back to more Saya no Uta. So in the last video, Fuminori rescued Saya from her attacker, Yosuke. It was all very violent and horrible. But anyway, we are now given a choice because Saya told Fuminori that she is able to remove his agnosia, which will mean that he can experience life as he did before his accident. So I was thinking about what I wanted to do here and I decided that I want it all back. I will do both choices obviously, but this seems like the most logical option because it means that he can just go back to having a normal life.
そりゃもちろん戻れるっていうのなら元に戻りたいと思う。
Well, of course, I answer without thinking. If it's possible to go back, then I want to, I think. I've never wondered if there could be any other answer. I stopped dwelling on this question a long time ago. If I'd been asked several months ago, I wouldn't have hesitated. But what about now? What does it mean to wish for the past? And what could it do to me and Saya? As soon as these thoughts occur to me, my true feelings become unclear. The hurried answer I just gave her was less certain than I thought.
そう。そうよね。当たり前よね。
Oh, yeah. Of course you would. I mean, I understand that this would probably be the end of their relationship because I don't think that Fuminori would be able to accept what Saya really is. Or maybe he could because he really loves her, but maybe she wouldn't be able to accept that he saw her that way again. So, but to me it seems like the most logical option. Saya smiles softly, her expression an unreadable mixture of what seemed to be sorrow and relief. Seeing it fills me with sudden unease, as though I've just wounded her deeply with my careless words.
なさや、僕は。
Hey, Saya,
いいの、海のり。もう何も言わないで。
It's okay, Fuminori. Don't say anymore. Saya kisses me again, as though to silence me, and thrusts her tongue into my mouth with even greater passion than before. As the sweet softness of her tongue clouds my mind, I begin to feel an urgent need to say what she prevented me from saying, to speak those most important words.
さや。
I can't speak for some reason, and my mind is hazy. My consciousness is slipping away as the euphoria from her kiss spreads to my entire body. So this must be the nice way of changing his brain, unlike what Yosuke went through.
おやすみなさい、海のり。
Sleep well, Fuminori. I hear Saya whisper softly from far away.
心配しないで。次に目が覚める時には何もかもが終わっているから。
Don't worry. When you wake up, everything will be over. That's no good. I have to tell you something before I sleep. Just one thing. Such thoughts are meaningless, however, as oblivion calls me into its embrace. Oh, so everything's back to normal again. See, what I thought is that he would go back to normal and everything would still be covered in paint, which makes sense because he painted over everything. Though maybe he didn't do that to the kitchen, I don't know. There does appear to be a significant amount of blood, though, in the room. When I awoke, the first thing that greeted me was a terrible stink. Suzumi-san's body was covered in flies, and I could smell the rotten stench that you would expect from a corpse. The night had ended, but Saya was nowhere to be seen in the morning light. Aside from the blood-covered floor, the kitchen looked the same as it had in my youth. In contrast, the colours of the living room that had been so soothing to me the day before were now a stark reminder of what a distant world I'd been living in. Okay, yeah, so that's exactly how I pictured. Knowing it would be futile, I wandered the house searching for Saya. For almost an hour, I tried in vain to deny reality. Then I called the police. When the operator answered, I couldn't stop myself from crying. It had been such a long time since I'd heard a human voice other than Saya's after all. As became clear later, Suzumi-san had murdered his family before I killed him. Unable to give the police a satisfactory explanation, I was arrested for all 3 murders, and when they found the remains of Takahata Omi in my house, the charge became 4 counts of murder and 1 count of mutilating a corpse. During my interrogation, I told them everything exactly as it had happened, in every detail. The detectives didn't believe me, of course, but the psychiatrist who came later did. He had moved me from the jail to a much cleaner, white room. I mean, I guess that's pretty understandable. Someone had to be blamed for the murders, and it's not like they could blame Yosuke for his family's deaths because, you know, he was dead too. It would make sense that they would assume that it was all Fuminori. That's right. This room looks just as stark white to me as it does to everyone else. In the end, they declared me incapable of answering for my actions. Everything that had happened to me was real, but was part of a reality that was incompatible with the world outside of this room. So the doctors gave me a tiny space all to myself, a place where I could live in my own reality. I am sad that I wasn't believed, but I know that it couldn't be helped. In this world, reality is what the vast majority of people say it is. I simply had the misfortune to step outside of that box. The walls of my room are undeniably white. Thankful for that alone, I will live out the rest of my life. Everyone said that there had never been any girl named Saya. Well, so be it. Saya was probably never part of their world. But why shouldn't I be able to hear Saya's voice here, in my room? This is my reality after all, a continuation of the very real time that we spent together. How long did I wait with such thoughts floating through my head? One night, I awoke to the sound of something crawling down the hallway. The sound would not normally have woken me, but I must have had a premonition that night. Sleeping lighter than usual, I had waited for her arrival, and so I knew instantly that it was her.
Saya なんだね。
Saya, is that you? She did not answer, but I could feel her outside my door, struggling with some internal conflict.
どうして声を聞かせてくれないんだ?
Hey, why won't you let me hear your voice? After a long silence, something small was slid through the narrow bars of my peephole. It was a cell phone, the screen already showing a notepad with freshly entered text. My voice will sound strange to you. I couldn't suppress a chuckle at Saya's uncharacteristic display of shyness.
そんなこと僕は全然気にならないよ。君の声が聞きたい。姿が見たい。
I don't care about that at all, I said, sending the phone back through the bars. I just want to hear you, see you. After a short pause, the phone returned to my side. Please, let me stay the Saya you remember.
そうか。
I see. I'd started to suspect that it might be so. Everything had appeared warped to my eyes. Only Saya had looked normal. I'd thought that she was somehow unique. In truth, however, she had probably been a different kind of unique than I'd imagined. It wasn't that my senses hadn't distorted her appearance, but that she had been so unusual that she had seemed normal to my twisted mind. Saya's true form was something other than what I had known. Now, however, I could see her as she really was. I couldn't blame her for not wanting to reveal herself to me. A girl's heart was not for me to understand. I just had to accept it.
あの日君に言おうとしてたこと、保留になってたの、覚えてる?
I tried to say something to you that day, but couldn't. Do you remember? I slid the phone back to her. I was hoping that you'd forgotten. I smiled wryly at the text on the screen, wondering if she really thought me so heartless.
忘れたりするもんか。
How could I forget? No one was listening, but still, it would have been embarrassing to speak the rest, so this time I typed it into the phone. GHI space JKLMNOTUVDE space WXYMNOTU. I slid the phone back through the slot. I could sense her trembling outside my door. I couldn't hear or see her, but still I knew Saya was crying, silently.
僕は構わなかったんだよ。
I wouldn't have cared, you know. Perhaps my words offered no comfort, spoken so late. Even so, I wouldn't have cared. I had wanted to return to my old life, true, but I would have abandoned that wish for Saya. I know that I would have gone with her, hand in hand, as far as we could, even to the most forbidden of places. Saya too must have known that I'd been prepared, and because she knew, she stopped me from saying those words. If I had spoken that oath, there would have been no going back. She ended it before that could happen and vanished from my life. I'm sorry, I was a coward. I look at the words on the screen and shake my head.
君だけが悪いんじゃない。あの時僕に迷いがなければ、君だって勇気を出せた。そうだろう。
It's not your fault. If I hadn't hesitated then, you would have found the courage, right? I was afraid of you, of how you were changing because of me.
仕方ないさ。
It's no one's fault. Saya couldn't bring herself to take everything from me, and I couldn't bring myself to give up everything for her. We were too weak to find happiness.
さやはこれからどうするんだい？
Saya, what will you do now? I'll keep searching for my dad. He'll know how to send me back to where I came from.
そうか。帰りたいんだね、さや。
I see. You want to go home, don't you? A short time passed with no words or messages exchanged. I wonder how many times in that brief silence she considered answering yes or no. Yeah. When the phone finally returned, the characters on the screen seemed strangely uncertain.
そうか。お父さん、見つかるといいね。
Well, I hope you find your father. I'll do my best. The time had come for our parting. She had chosen her path and I had given her my blessing. Nothing more needed to be said.
もしも気が変わったら、僕はずっとここにいるから、いつでも来ていいからね。
If you change your mind, I'll always be here. You can come see me whenever you want. I will. Thank you. Goodbye, Fuminori. I read her final message and returned the phone to the other side.
さようなら、さや。
Goodbye, Saya. She gently slapped my door in response, and then I heard the sound of her sliding off down the hallway. And then I was alone in the silence of the night. Ever since that day, I have been waiting. Perhaps Saya really did return to where she came from. Perhaps she is still wandering somewhere today, looking for her father. It must be hard. She must be lonely. When she can no longer stand being alone, she will surely return to me. I am the only one who will comfort her with kind words, after all. And so I will wait, dreaming of her voice and her face. I will wait. Forever in my white world. Oh, that was such a sad ending. Like, I kind of figured that that is probably what would happen. Well, not necessarily that he would be put in a white room for the rest of his life, but that it would mean that he would have to leave Saya. But it is quite sad, I have to admit. I'm very interested to see where the other direction will take. Like, if we continue to be in our agnosia, how will that change the ending? But as I said, I am going to do the other choice. I just wanted to pick this one first because, as I said, it seemed like the most logical option in my opinion. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video as it is. I'm not going to start the next route just yet. I'm sorry it's a bit of a short one. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the first ending of Saya no Uta. If you have, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. And until next time, guys, goodbye!